afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. This is Dr. Billy Williams. Today we're going to talk about the core insurance agency technology and automation tools that every insurance agency should use. We've got a lot of stuff to go over, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time with intros and all that kind of stuff. You guys are on the webinar, so obviously you know who I am, you know what my company is all about, you know what we do. So we are here to mentor and train. Those of you that are not familiar with how we actually do the mentoring and training, this is not a sales pitch. If you're going to buy something from me, it's because I actually solved a problem that you have, not because I convinced you to try to figure out if I'm going to solve your problem. First thing I want to do is I want to make sure that everyone understands that every individual tool, task, or process that Inspire Nation recommends as a best practice had to generate or save an agency at least $1 million in a 36-month period. So there's no fluff. We don't talk about maybe someone should try this down the road. I heard this is all stuff that my group of 160 plus agencies, along with many of our members, we've researched, we've tracked, we've made sure that this actually works. So everything that we're going to talk about has made or saved at least $1 million in a 36-month period. You're probably wondering, what technology does Inspire Nation recommend to work the best practices? Like, are we selling something or do we have something? No, we are technology agnostic. So what that means is that we don't care what tool or service you use to work our best practices. We just need that task completed correctly and efficiently. So if we say text messaging, I don't care if you use Google Voice. I don't care if you use your AMS to text message. I don't care if you use Easy Texting or one of these other texting programs. I don't care. All I care about is that when the situation requires a text message, requires a text message reply, requires that text message to be automated, that can actually happen. So let me say again, we are technology agnostic. We don't care what tool you use as long as that tool does what we need it to do. There are 19 core agency automation tools and practices that we'll discuss today. I'll try to get to as many of these as I can. My goal is to get to all 19 and then have a couple of extra ones out there, but I'm going to answer questions and do things like that. So I'll get to as many as I can. But let me go over what the 19 are. There's a rater, an agency management tool, a business phone system, an email tool that allows you to store and easily send the 11 main email templates that Inspire Nation recommends, the electronic business card or an electronic business card, a drip email tool that is trigger-based and it's based on pre-selected events, a password management tool, a text message tool, an appointment scheduler, an electronic signature tool, a declined coverage form, a Google testimonial, a Bitly link shortener, video recording tool for desktop, mobile, or tablet, a conference call or webinar tool, an agency hotline, YouTube channels and videos, agency website, of course, and we also want to talk about chatbots and virtual assistants. So again, we got a lot of stuff to go over. Don't want to waste a lot of your time. We just want to get right into what we're going to talk about. Everything that you do with automation and technology is designed to make you scalable and free. Because scalability and freedom go hand in hand. Now, what does that mean? That means that until your technology, your automation, your processes are stronger than your people, your business can't be scalable and you can't have mental or physical freedom. I'm going to read that again because that's a very important statement. If you guys are screen capturing or writing something down or whatever, make sure you get this. Until your technology, automation, and processes are stronger than your people, your business can't be scalable and you can't have mental or physical freedom. You can't even go on vacation because you're not sure if your people are doing what you need them to do. You can't go and say, oh, let me go to sleep. Let me just go to sleep at night in peace because you're wondering if your team took care of everything that you needed to take care of. Until your technology, automation, and processes are stronger than your people, you're not going to have that kind of freedom. So what should you expect from this session? Well, over the next hour, I'll introduce you to the core 19 technology and automation tools that the partner agencies of the Williams Family Investment Group that we utilize to produce over $1 billion a year in new and renewal premium. As I said, I have 160 plus partner agencies, and we track everything they do. Because for us, everything is about a business habit. My automation, my technology, the way my people talk, the processes that we do, everything is about developing a business habit, because a business process is just a fancy way of saying a business habit. And most insurance agencies, most businesses in general, could grow 5 times faster if they developed more effective business habits. So let's get started. So for those of you that this is the first time, the thing I will tell you is this is unlike any other training that you will probably ever experience. And the reason why is because I don't do this to try to sell you stuff. But my mentality is, let me solve your problems first. Okay, if I can solve your problems first and show you the value and why you want us to mentor you, or why you want to use some of our tools or resources, then that makes a lot more sense to me. All I had to do was figure out how to solve a problem for 1 million people. That's it. If I could solve a problem for 1 million people, then what was going to happen is I was either going to sell something and get very wealthy off of it, or someone was going to invest in what I have and make me wealthy. Either way, I was going to get wealthy. So whenever I started my company, started my mentoring company, started my investment group, started anything that I do, I don't look at it as, let me sell you something. I look at it as, let me solve a problem for you. And if I can solve a problem for you, then you will probably want to do business with what we do. All right. So enough about that. Let's talk about a rater first and foremost. This is the very first thing we're going to talk about of our 19. We're going to talk about a rater. When you're choosing your rater, choose the rater that works with the greatest amount of major carriers you currently write or plan on writing. See, some of you, well, let me just go back. Your rater really does set the tone for your business. Okay, if you don't have a rater, that means you're doing everything through an Accord form, so it still sets the tone for your business because you're doing things 10 times longer or taking 10 times longer than they need to because you don't have a rater. But a lot of you are locked into your rater and you can't grow your business because when you first started your agency, you had Unitrin and Acuity, and you didn't have the big name carriers. And so that's what you bought your rater on. But then you want it to grow. But now your people are locked into your rater, so you're stuck. That's why you choose the rater that works with the greatest amount of carriers that you currently write or that you plan on writing. So if you are a substandard agency and you plan on becoming a standard agency, then you better go get you a standard rater. Okay, you better get you a PO rater, EasyLink, something. QQ, got to get you something because it's not going to work otherwise. Next, the entire purpose of a rater is to quickly and easily quote multiple carriers. Don't get suckered in by fancy bells and whistles. At the end of the day, okay, let's keep this simple. At the end of the day, if your rater can't easily quote the multiple carriers that you want, it doesn't matter that it can sing and dance and cook you breakfast because it can't do its job. Okay, it's BSing you and pulling the wool over your eyes by making you believe, oh, I got this, I got this, I got this. Yeah, but that isn't what I want to do. Okay. Next, if you're a captive agent and you can broker, because I know now a lot of the captive agencies, a lot of captive carriers are becoming brokers. If you can, try to locate and use a rater for your brokered business. Get used to it. Guys, and this is just Billy talking. There's nothing out here in the universe that says this is going to happen, but this is what I believe. You got companies like Nationwide and other companies that are just pretty much getting rid of their captive force and saying, we can be just as effective by letting you go and become a broker as opposed to us holding you down as a captive. The carrier can make more money. You as an agency can make more money. I see that trend continuing, okay? Getting deeper and deeper into that trend. So you might as well start using a rater now. So these are the 3 key points when you're selecting a rater. Now let's talk about your agency management system. First and foremost, there is no such animal as the perfect agency management system. Okay, no such animal. And I know people are saying, oh, Billy, you don't understand. My agency management system sucks. You don't get it, Billy. You don't understand. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Until you know your processes and you can actually work the processes that you want to work, or at least identify the processes that you want to work, you don't know if your agency management system sucks or not. So when someone sees Joe doing something and they go, oh, my agency management system won't do that. My agency management system sucks. Well, guess what? Your business may not operate the way that Joe's business operates. So therefore, for you, your agency management system might be perfect. It may not be perfect for Joe, but it might be perfect for you. But you won't know anyway, okay? You won't know until you get your processes down, until you say, when we're doing an endorsement, we're going to do this first, this second, this third, this fourth, and this fifth, and I can track and see if my agency management system can do that. You don't know if your agency management system sucks or not until you can say during our claims process or during our new customer process or during our policy review process or I need triggers that do this. Until you can identify that, stop saying your agency management system sucks, okay? Because there's no such animal as a perfect agency management system. Choose the agency management system that works best with your rater. And the reason why is because you want to eliminate duplicate entry. If your people have to put it in the rater and then turn around and put it in the agency management system, guess what happens? It doesn't get into the agency management system. Because a person or your team or anybody, we're always going to choose easy over effective in the absence of accountability. So if you're not standing there and micromanaging and spot checking your people and verifying that they're putting that agency management system or putting the information in your agency management system, it's not getting in there anyway, because they're doing what's easy, not what's most effective. When you're choosing your agency management system, if you have two or more choices, choose the AMS or the agency management system that works well with your rater and choose the one with the greatest amount of built-in automation. What do I mean by built-in automation? Meaning, will it send emails based on a trigger? Hey, every customer that's coming up for renewing in the next 60 days, it automatically triggers an email to get sent. Whenever we put someone in our system and we tag them or categorize them as new customer, they automatically get this series of emails, or they automatically get this text message, or they automatically get this postcard printed out that we need to mail to them. Choose the AMS that's going to give you the greatest amount of built-in automation, but you won't even know what automation you need until you understand your processes. Let me say that again. You won't even know what automation you need until you understand your processes. Your processes are the ABCs of your business. You can't write a book if you can't understand what a vowel is. You can't read a paragraph or make a paragraph make you money if you can't read. It's the same thing here. If you don't know your processes, you won't even know what to ask for in your agency management system. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Okay. When you're talking about automation, always start with trigger-based email automation and, of course, text messaging. So when I'm looking at automation in an insurance agency and I'm going in to verify what they have, I'm taking my processes and I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'm going over to the agency management system and I'm saying, how do I do 1? How do I do number 2? How do I do number 3? Where's number 4? Where's number 5? Where's number 6? And that's how I determine if I have a good agency management system, not because the agency management salesperson sold me on all the bells and whistles of what this thing could do. Because just because it can do it doesn't mean that I can do it. Does that make sense, guys? All right. Next thing, email templates. Everything that you do in your business, in your agency, should start with the implementation of email templates first. Stop trying to change your staff's conversation. A conversation is developed through your mentality, through your activity. It's based on your fears, on your strengths, on your weaknesses, your insecurities. But if I can just get you to push 1 or 2 buttons and send an email template, at least I can get my customers or my prospects or referral partners to read what I need them to read, even if you won't say it. Okay? I can't tell you how many times I walk in an agency and I'll start to implement a process and they go, oh, let's sit down and have a role play. No, you're not role playing anything. Only thing I need them to do is push this button. That's it. I've already created the email templates. I've already put the links. I've already put the, the forms that I need or the decline coverage or whatever I need. I've already done that. Once they see it working, then it's much easier to change their conversation. But if your plan is to change their conversation and then they're just going to love the changes that you're bringing in the agency, you're fooling yourself. That's not how it works, okay? So what do you need to do? Well, if you're an Inspire Nation member, you need to copy and modify the Inspire Nation provided email templates and load them into all tools used to send outbound emails in the agency. Why do I say all tools? Because guess what? Half of your team is sending stuff out in Outlook. The other half is sending it out in Google. And then when they're not using Outlook or Google, then they want to, if it's simple, they'll send it through the AMS. And then maybe from there, they have some other tool that they're using. Or the point is, they're not all using the same tool. They should be. There absolutely should be one central hub that everything is sent from. Your AMS should be the brain of your operation, and every email template and every text message and everything that goes out should go out through the agency management system. But reality is that that's probably not happening. So when we tell you to load your email templates, we want you to load it into all tools that use to send email. That way, if they use Google, at least they're sending the same email template as the person who's using Outlook or the person who's using your AMS, okay? But start with email templates first. That's why it's one of our tools in automation that's on our list, because it's that important. Next is the electronic business card, okay? Electronic business card. Now, a lot of you may not be familiar with this, or maybe you are, or maybe you're using a .vcf from years ago. Here's why you want your electronic business card. Everyone uses their cell phone. Everyone uses their mobile device to communicate, to do everything. Pretty much 90% of everything you do, unless you're sitting there writing a policy, you're probably doing on your cell phone. I want to be in that cell phone. You want to be in their cell phone. And you want to make it simple, you want to make it easy, and you want them to have all of your contact information, including your Facebook, your LinkedIn, and all those kind of things. The simplest way to get that electronic business card to them is to either text it over to them or email it over to them. That's why if you're looking at the screen right now and you want a copy of my electronic business card with all my contact information, text the word BW Biz Card. So just that's the word, BW Biz Card, and text it to 43506. So in where your phone book is, or excuse me, where you would put the 2 instead of putting a name in there or a phone number, a full phone number, you'll put 43506. And in the body of the text message, you'll just put BW Biz Card, BWBIZCARD. Text that. Then what you're going to get back is you're going to get back a link. And when you click on that link, it's going to download my electronic business card, and then you save it, and now my information is in your cell phone. It took 2 seconds to do. That's the same thing you want to do for your people, for your prospects. If you want to really block out your competitors, use an electronic business card when you're prospecting. Say, hey, Jill or Jane or Joe, while I'm working on this quote for you, I'm going to go ahead and text you over my electronic business card. When you get it, just save it into your phone. And then when I call, you'll know who I am. Because here's what you got to know, guys, and you know this. If a number calls your phone and you don't recognize the number, you don't answer. You let it go to voicemail, or you decline it and send back, I'm in a meeting, call me back or whatever, but you don't answer if you don't recognize the number. Same thing with your prospects. They're not going to answer if they don't recognize your number. Heaven forbid they went out on the internet and asked for a quote, and now they got 75 agents calling them, right? They don't know who those agents are. But if you can get your electronic business card into their cell phone, now when that phone rings, it doesn't just pop up with your name, it has your picture. It's right there. That's why we use electronic business card. Here's some notes about your electronic business card. Along with creating one for yourself, you also want to create one for the agency. Because here's the deal, you want all your people sending it out. And you don't want them just calling for the agent or just calling for one of your staff people. You want them calling XYZ Insurance Agency. So I strongly suggest that when you create your electronic business card, that you automatically create one for the agency that everyone uses with an agency name. That way, when they put it in their phone, it'll be under the word insurance. It'll say XYZ Insurance Agency, and when they call, whoever answers the phone can take care of them versus them calling specifically for Bob, Jill, Dave, whoever. On your agency management system or whatever tool you're using, your drip email needs to be trigger-based, okay? Trigger-based. Events such as birthdays, upcoming renewals, and anniversaries should automatically trigger the sending of an email, text message, automated phone call, or whatever you're using to both customers and prospects. Again, there are a lot of tools that are out that can do this. I'm a big believer in letting one tool do the majority of the work versus forcing my people to go to 10 different things. So I want an agency management system that can trigger or send trigger-based emails. I want that. I'm looking for that, okay? And there are a lot of tools that I know will do that. Hawksoft, NowCerts, EasyLinks, QQ, AMS 360. I mean, there are a lot of tools that can do it. It's just a matter of what are you doing? What are you doing with it? So don't say, well, my tool sucks, it won't do it. It might, you just don't know where to look in your system a lot of times. Most agency management systems have some form of automation, okay? You might have to ask for it, but most of them have some form of automation. Remember we talked about that electronic business card just a second ago? Make sure that any email templates that go out of your agency have the link for your electronic business card on that email template. Every time an electronic or every time an email goes out of our agencies, I want 3 things on that email. 1, I want to have the body of whatever that email is talking about. Clear, concise, don't want to overdo it. Just make it clear and to the point. 2nd, I want my electronic business card. And 3rd, I want my appointment tool link, which we'll talk about here in a few moments. But I want those 3 things on all emails that go out of the agent. All right, next is your password management system. Here's the key. 60% of the things that an agent is responsible for doing never get done or never get done in a timely manner because they can't remember the logon and password. 60% of the things that the principal agent is responsible for doing never get done or never get done in a timely manner because they can't remember the logon and password. This is why we really push that you need a password management tool. Don't rely on a browser-based password manager such as Google or Safari. Do you want us to save your passwords? I'm not saying they're not, safe. I'm not saying they're not secure. I'm just saying you want to be able to have access to your passwords wherever you are, whatever computer or mobile device you're on. We use RoboForm. Now, there's LastPass and other stuff that's out there. We've used RoboForm for years, and we absolutely love RoboForm. So let me show you how RoboForm works. And then if it's something that you guys want to do, you can go ahead and check it out yourself. Okay, so RoboForm sits up on the top of your browser. I'm using Google Chrome. It sits up on the top of your browser. And then it has all my logins, and I have hundreds of logins, okay, hundreds of logins. Let's go with e-signature tools. There we go. So I've got DocuSign, eSign, Write Signature. These are the 3 that we primarily use. Well, I'm not going to remember all of this, but my tool will. My password management tool will. So I just click on Write Signature. 1 click, it automatically takes me to the page. It automatically fills in the password and logs me into what I'm trying to do there, okay? Makes life super, super simple for me, and I don't have to remember this. Another reason I love RoboForm is that it syncs with my phone, it syncs with my tablet, it syncs with everything that I have, okay? Everything I use, it syncs with. So it makes my life 10 times easier than if I were trying to do it all by myself. That's why I love RoboForm. And they've got one for business that we use in our agencies where we've got 6, 7, 8 different offices, but we have common passwords, common logons. And so if I want to get them into Zurich or get them into Marsh or get them into Travelers or get them into whatever, I can just do that master, and then that master will sync with all of their computers, and then I can control it. Another reason I love that is if someone leaves, I don't worry about my passwords going with them because I can always change my master password and they will never get into that system. So that's one of the things I love about having a password management tool. Whichever one you use, don't care. Remember, we're technology agnostic. I'm just going to explain the ones that we use, and then you choose the one that works best for you. And we use RoboForm. Next is text messaging. First and foremost, don't use your cell phone for business text messaging. But Billy, I'm small. You don't understand. My cell phone is all I have. No, your cell phone is all you choose to use. There's Ring Central, there's Grasshopper, there's all kind of stuff that you could use out there for text messaging. There's Google Voice. If you don't have any money, you can use Google Voice for free. But what you're doing, when we talked about scalability, and the very first slide said, until your business is scalable, you don't have freedom. Well, here's the deal. If every phone call that comes in and every text message that comes in directly to you, how do you get Judy or Bob or Joe or Dan or anybody else who works for you to take care of business? They can't, because the customer's calling you. 2 o'clock in the morning, they're calling you. Yeah, that's great. Don't get me wrong. If you're that, you want to be that type of agent. Okay, you want to get to about $1.5 million in premium, and you want to just kind of ride that out until 30 years are up. Hey, stick with that. That's your world. That's what you want to be. That's awesome. But if you want to be a 10 million, 20 million, $50 million agency, you better learn how to decentralize operations, meaning everything can't run through you. Every phone call can't come to your cell phone. Every text message can't come to your cell phone. That's why I'm telling you, don't use your cell phone for business text messaging. I would prefer, first and foremost, that your agency management system have built-in text messaging. That makes life so much easier if your agency management system has built-in text message functionality. That should be your go-to. That should be your first choice. Second choice is if your phone system has built-in text messaging. I'm a big fan of Lightspeed, Marcus Hayes, and what they do over there. They have text messaging built into their system. If for you guys that are Data Supercenter users, we have text messaging built into our system that we don't charge you for. It's just part of our system. So we've got that for you. But you need text messaging. Text messaging is the #1 form of communication in the world today. Okay, and it's not going to change. It's not like Snapchat or Facebook Messenger is going to overtake text messaging. It's not. Okay, yes, it's going to be another avenue, but it's not going to overtake text messaging. So you need to have a good text messaging platform in your business. Next, appointment scheduling tool. One of the big sayings that I have is that if you don't make the time to create wealth, then all of your time is spent fighting off poverty. If you don't make the time to create wealth, then all of your time is spent fighting off poverty. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, but some of us can just maximize those 24 hours. I mean, just get an amazing amount of stuff done. And then some people can't. You know what the difference is? Timing, calendar blocking, scheduling. So if I get up in the morning at 4:30 and from 4:30 to 6, I'm going to the gym and I'm doing that 4 times a week. When a person looks at me and they got a big old gut sticking out there and they're a high blood pressure and they're diabetic and I'm slim and fit and trim, don't get mad or say, oh, it's your genes. Oh, it's this. No, it's my activities. You see, your activities lead to your mentality, and then money follows your mentality. Let me say that again. It's one of my mentoring tips for you. Your activity leads to your mentality, and then money follows your mentality. See, most people think I need to think right in order to do right. No, you need to do right, even if you don't think right, and eventually you'll start thinking right. So appointment scheduling is extremely important, and there are a ton of appointment scheduling tools that are out there. We use Simply Book, which I'll show you here in a second. We use Simply Book, but whatever you use, it's all about blocking off specific time blocks for specific types of appointments, such as sales, policy reviews, claims, referral partners. And don't give me that crap about, oh, Billy, you don't understand. Our agency is so busy, we don't have time to block off anything. No, it means you don't make it a priority. Okay, I get it. You got 75 phone calls coming in. So you're half-assing all 75 of those and not getting to the things that you need to get to that are going to help you to grow your agency. Well, why not just half-ass half of the 75? Why not just half-ass 38 of those? Okay? And then the other 38, you actually block off time to do a good policy review. Block off time to actually have a good sales conversation. Block off time to actually call a person who's had a claim. Why half-ass everything? So this is why you need an appointment scheduling tool. And again, we use Simply Book for our appointment scheduling tool. So I'm going to show you how we use our Simply Book. But on here, we go Book Now. And you see we'll have a bunch of different ones. There are the 90-minute schedule for members with me. If you needed to talk to Carneal, who heads up our Data Supercenter part, you could. If you needed to schedule a claims follow-up call, there's still a lot of my agencies that I'm a partner in that I'll say, this is a pretty intense claim. Maybe it's a manufacturing fire or something like that. Let me handle this claims follow-up. Customer policy reviews, things like that. Video chat. And of course, we have our help desk out here. So how would this work? Let's go select. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to go up to the top and make sure I'm in the right time zone. So up here, go up to the very top. Up at the top here, it'll say change my time zone. Well, I'm in Dallas, which is still Chicago time. But if you were in New York or California or some other place, you would change your time zone so that when you get your appointment, it's in your time zone, not in my time zone. So then I'll click here on our help desk. Click select. It'll tell you what she has available in this particular case, the times that are there, and then you block it off. We block off her time in 30-minute increments. Now we can get to you, because guess what? That's your time. There's nobody stealing your time but you. So that's why we want you to have an appointment scheduling tool. A lot of agencies can't write new business because they can't, or they don't make the time to write new business. They can't go out and get referral partners because they don't make the time to go get referral partners. This is why you need an appointment scheduling tool. And here's the other thing. Look at that bottom. For those of you that are on the web, look at the bottom part here. It says have the contact use a link you provide to schedule their own appointment. 98% show rate when the contact schedules their own appointment versus 40% show rate when you mutually agree to an appointment time. So when you guys are sitting there going back and forth on the phone, hey, what about Thursday? Oh, I don't know, I'm kind of busy. What about Wednesday? Will that work for you? 2 o'clock, somewhere around there? Yeah, go ahead and put me down for it. They ain't gonna show up. Okay, 60% of the time they're not gonna show up because there was no commitment. But when you send them the appointment schedule link and you say, here, I'm gonna send you my link, just open it up, pick a time that works best for you that matches my calendar, and they do it themselves, there's a 98% show rate. That's what you want, 98% show rate.